I'm happy that we can sit here to have a little chat after the workshop today.
I think it was good.
Yeah, no, it was really, really lively, good discussions.
Absolutely.
So I'm really happy we came. Thank you for having us.
And thank you for coming.
But let's kind of dive in a little bit with the first questions. And I know it's a complex question, but I'll still ask it. Where do you feel West Africa stands at the moment when it comes to sustaining peace?
As you said, it's really a loaded question, but let me just narrow it down to, I think the whole Agenda 2030 SDGs has been very helpful in terms of moving things forward. A lot of effort has gone on. But I think we have to also say that there are lots of gaps. And I think the biggest issue for me is how do we focus on what we've achieved and consolidate that further? I think in this whole discussion, that's what is important and I think stands out for me.
You're mentioning the 2030 agenda, and of course today we are looking beyond 2030. So in particular, looking from a regional perspective, from a West Africa perspective, how do you see this whole beyond 2030 process or discussion rather?
Well, an agenda beyond 2030 has its place, a universal agenda has its place. But I think for me, we've already seen that, the Agenda 2030 itself has been, translated into other frameworks, other agendas that actually transcend 2030. And I think it's important that while we may wish or aspire for a new renewed agenda of new goals or whatever, that it's important that we consolidate what we've already started and see through those. We have them in terms of continental agendas, reflecting the aspirations of SDGs, regional agendas, national agendas, but also thematic agendas like the WPS agenda, Youth for Peace and Security agenda. I think we need to focus on how we implement those and continue with those. They go beyond 2030.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, but since you mentioned Agenda 2030 and beyond, I mean, this discussion did take up quite a bit of the time in our session today. What were your key takeaways, really, from this whole conversation?
Yeah, I enjoyed the discussion. I thought it was a very lively discussion. And one of my key takeaways was that, it's really good to have the opportunity to come to meetings like your meeting today and to listen to different perspectives. And also just to have this awareness again, yes, there are different agendas. And even though we know, but it was good to be reminded again, we have the AU 2063 agenda. And there's, I think, a 60 to 80% convergence with the 2030 agenda. So even if we might have a time where there is no 2030 agenda, there are agendas like the African Union agenda that could be used. And maybe more lobby work is also needed to say, okay, let's use this agenda to focus on regional issues and agendas, and also use this for partnerships, outside the region. So I thought that was really hopeful and also quite positive to say, yeah, let's focus on regional aspects and agendas, and we might not need the global agenda. Yeah. If there is no support for it anymore, let's focus on this and use this for building new and further partnerships.
I mean, I totally agree. I think even at global level, we do have some agendas like the Pact for the Future and so on that still reflect some of those aspirations. But I was wondering, in your context, whether from Europe or Germany, what opportunities exist to really go on and with the aspirations of the SDGs beyond 2030? Yeah.
Well, let's start with us. We are two networks. We have WANEP and we have FriEnt, and we met today, and we met last year actually for the first time in this context of the two networks engaging. So I see our work and engagement as a great opportunity to discuss on what topics can we focus on together, like the debate we had today beyond 2030, but also, as you mentioned, women, peace and security, youth, peace and security, and the work we will be doing together during our Peacebuilding Forum in Berlin in September and beyond. So I see it as an opportunity, like network in West Africa, a network in Germany, to come together on issues and discuss and identify not just questions, but also solutions, ideally.
Absolutely.
And then at the political level, we mentioned it earlier during the discussions, Germany has just set up or launched, I should say, the South-North Commission for Development. And that is on a political level also an acknowledgement that in the time that we're living in at the moment, there is the need for partnerships.
Absolutely.
And that we do need partnerships for solving the pressing issues of our times. So I do feel there are many opportunities to engage further. And I look forward to doing this together with WANEP and FriEnt.
Absolutely. Same here. Hopefully we can help to contribute to developing a new architecture
Yeah.
for beyond 2030.